because it's 8 o'clock. And I don't know where the 18 other people are, but we can make it up. And I kind of take responsibility for that since we had a little glitch on Tuesday. So welcome to the fourth yoga practice of this semester so far. I'm glad you're all here. So today I thought we'd begin with just a little bit of a centering, a welcome, a kind of meditation, and then we'll move into our practice. So this class is mostly, like physical education, participation, movement, for you to really understand in your body what yoga is. I think we've already kind of gone over a lot about the 8 limbs of yoga, and I'm going to continue to share with you some lecture and some philosophy and sequencing and different stuff like that. But when I taught this class last year, it's mostly for you to really know what yoga feels like in your body. And I think that can be hard to do in like 2.5 hours. It's a long class. So I'm just going to try to break it up, and we might kind of take a break, and I'll like stop the recording just so the recordings can be shorter and easier to upload onto YouTube and to record. And 2.5 hours is a long time to do anything. So we'll take breaks, and feel free to kind of take care of yourself if you need to like grab some water, whatever. So let's begin. Come to a comfortable cross-legged position. So sit tall, and if you're really tight, this is a yoga bolster, and you can sub a yoga bolster for like a bedroom pillow, 2 pillows, grab some towels. These are yoga blankets. You can use any blankets, and if you're tight especially, it really helps to sit up on something to kind of let your hips be in line or kind of higher than your knees. So let's begin in a comfortable cross-legged position, Sukhasana, and just kind of ease into the practice this morning. So just kind of move a little side to side. Good. Shift a little forward and back. Nice. And then find a really nice, long, tall spine. So you can really ground into your sitting bones. So feel your legs and your lower body really get heavy and grounded. And then bring your attention to the back spine, the low back, and start to travel your awareness up the back, creating lengthened space in between each vertebrae. And then kind of pay attention to the front spine and see if you can kind of lift up the front body. And let your shoulders maybe circle a couple times around, and then drop them back and down. And almost feel a lift up through the crown of the head. So get really tall here. And relax all the muscles of the face, the jaw, and the forehead. And before we kind of change or move anything, just take in this experience right now this morning. How do you feel, and what's going on? Are you feeling a little anxious, irritated? Are you still waking up? Are you joyful, anticipating something? So just kind of paying attention to however you feel internally, just kind of labeling and noticing, emotions. And just really pay attention to what the physical body feels like as you arrive and get still. So maybe it's your low back on the left side feeling funny, a shoulder, a neck, a mouth. So notice if there's any part of you that might be like kind of calling out. And just start to breathe in a way that feels natural for you. Notice the breath and how it feels to just sit in stillness and breathe deeply. In through your nose and out through your nose. And notice if the breath moves down into your low belly Notice if the breath is up in your chest. So taking a deep breath, paying attention to our breath can have incredible physical, mental, and emotional benefits. First of all, using our full lung capacity is really important for our respiratory system. So that can help improve all sorts of things athletically, if you're a singer. So learning how to deepen the breath, control it, and mentally and emotionally, really connecting to the breath can help us connect into our bodies. So have a mind-body awareness, allowing us to better understand our bodies, our emotions. So it said that if you can control the breath, you can control the mind. You can control the body, our thoughts and our feelings. Learning how to slow down and take a deep breath might be one of the best tools in your toolbox. So place your hands down on your belly, maybe low belly, and see if you can breathe in and let the belly expand. Push away. And good. And then exhale and see if you can let the belly drop in. Good. And then just do that a couple times. See if you can really breathe into your hands, into the low belly. And let your hands relax. I'm also a caregiver for 2 young children, and they love to like do yoga with me, and they'll say, I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'll go like this, and they'll like puff up their cheeks. And other times if you say like, take a deep breath, kids will go like this, or grown-ups like, right? And most people are like chest breathers. They breathe up into their chest. That's where we get like a little more excited. So breathing down into your belly is really grounding and powerful. And notice if you're like a shoulder breather or like a mouth breather. And now, so we breathe down into the low belly, and then see if you can bring your hands out to the sides of your ribs, if you can do that flexibility wise. Good. And then see if you can breathe in and make your hands move. You can see my hands move. Inhale, ribs expand. And exhale, ribs draw back in. Do that a couple more times. Good. Again. One more time, deep breath in. And exhale. So the diaphragm in our body is responsible to help us breathe. So it's right here, right? So if you can feel your ribs, the diaphragm lands here, and it looks like a dome, kind of like a jellyfish or like the top of a pizza, and it's like this. So when we breathe in, the diaphragm expands, and when we breathe out, exhale, it draws in. So this might be like elementary, or maybe the first time you're hearing this. Good. So the diaphragm kind of lifts up as we inhale and draws back in, and it sits kind of right underneath the ribs, in and out. So in yoga, we try to practice diaphragmatic breathing, so really breathing into the diaphragm. There are also 3 lobes of the lungs, so the lungs under here, right? And most people only use like a little bit of their lung capacity. So we want to really try to breathe into the bottom lobes of the lungs, the middle lobes, and the upper lobes of the lungs. So let's continue to kind of connect to that 3-part breath. And then the third part of this 3-part breath is low belly, ribs, and then chest. So place your hands on your chest here, kind of underneath your collarbones, and see if you can breathe out into your chest. And just kind of see if you can make your hands move. Breathe in. Breathe out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Nice. And now lower your hands down, and we'll try to put this together. So this is called the 3-part breath. In yoga, we call it Durga breath. So belly, ribs, and chest. And if this feels like a lot, you can just kind of roll with it and do the best you can, and just think about deep breaths. So if it feels comfortable, close your eyes and then take a deep breath in through your nose. Let a big sigh out of your mouth. Ah. Good, and then take a deep breath into your low belly. Breathe up into your ribs and then into your chest. And then exhale the chest, the ribs, and the belly. You can place your hands on your body to help. Inhale, low belly, ribs, chest, and exhale the chest, ribs, belly. Let's keep going. So inhale, belly, ribs, chest, hold, exhale down the chest, the ribs, and the belly. Empty. Good. That might be a little long. Just do the best you can. So again, breathe into the low belly, ribs, and chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, and belly. And then let it all go. Good. Roll your shoulders a little bit up, back, and around. Shake your shoulders at the bottom. Good. And now we're going to do a lion's breath. So I think we did this last week. You want to open your eyes wide, open your mouth, stick your tongue out, and go. So, might be a little uncomfortable and weird. This is a great way to kind of like wake up the face and let some tension out on the exhale. So when we lengthen the exhale, that's calming. And when we make the inhale longer, that's kind of helps to create more excitement and energy. So take a deep breath in through your nose, and we'll do a big lion's breath on the mouth. So ready? Deep breath in, big lion's breath. And you don't have your sound on, so you can make a crazy sound. This is also a great way to release stress and tension. So if you had like a really stressful meeting with your advisor and you're like, oh my gosh, I have to take 6 more classes before I graduate. I thought it was only 2, and you're just like, ah, just like big lion's breath. So again, deep breath in, lion's breath. You can like open your eyes, roll your head back, open your mouth, stick your tongue out. And if we were in class all together, people would just be laughing because it's kind of weird and uncomfortable. So feel free to embrace the laugh. We'll do one more deep breath in, lion's breath. Good. Feel better, right? All right, so let's come on to our mats and do a little practice. And if you can put your video on, that would be great. Good. I'm like, hold on one second. Okay, cool. Hi, Tyler. Sounds good. Okay. Did everyone have, was the code okay that I posted this morning? Obviously, you guys got into the meeting. So, yeah.
I didn't get it until like after we had started class, like the notification or like the email or anything. And I just assumed that we were going to use the Zoom link that we used like last time and the time before that, but I just didn't know.
Yeah, sorry. I think that must be whatever my email or my internet thing is with Moodle. Has anyone else had that issue that it's like just with like Moodle or some of the MHU things? Anyway, I don't know. There's something going on with my internet, but yeah, I posted the link like as an announcement in Moodle this morning around like 7:40, but I'm pretty sure it was like the same link from last Thursday. So there's only one. Anyway, that might explain why there aren't that many people. On our first break, I'll like go back through and figure things out. So, and this is being recorded, so well done all of you for making it. And thanks for also being patient with me as I kind of figure this all out. So let's come on to our mats and do a little yoga. So lie on down. Lying down is always kind of a nice place to begin. So let your legs extend out long and let your arms come down by your sides. And you can kind of shake out your legs, shake out your arms, maybe rock your hips a little side to side. And just gonna notice how you feel today. And kind of roll your shoulders up, around, back and down. And lying down is always kind of a nice place to begin in a relaxing position. So lie down, and then let's continue that deep breath into the belly. Breathing in and breathing out. So in a regular yoga class, if you go to a really good yoga class out in the world, you might have a teacher who teaches with a theme. And the theme is kind of one thing to focus on, and that can be like an anatomical theme, like hips or shoulders or core, or a philosophical theme. And today we're going to be doing a class kind of to open and strengthen the hips and the pelvis. And I'd like to share just kind of another definition of yoga with you. We went over this last week, but just to share again, the second Yoga Sutra. So the Yoga Sutras, right, are a philosophical kind of definition of yoga, kind of a way of life. Terse aphorisms, so they're short statements that can be expanded on. The second Yoga Sutra is maybe the most famous. It's Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. So yoga is the quieting of the mind, the cessation of the mind. So the most famous sutra, most popular, what yoga is. Yoga is a state in which all mental activity has stopped. And the mind is clear and quiet and can perceive correctly. A state of samadhi. Good. So a state of complete integration, of union, where we understand our place in relation with the infinite. Foundational to our understanding is yoga. The goal is always to have a quieter mind. So as we arrive on our mats, lying down and just kind of thinking about the mind and the thoughts, and just kind of notice if you're someone who has a very active and busy mind, if it's hard to relax and calm down. So let your breath really kind of facilitate that. Deep breath in, complete breath out. So yoga is union, connection, connecting the breath, the body and the mind, the body and movement, and maybe even connecting to something greater than you, like a spirit or a guide. Now from here, reach your arms up and overhead, reach your feet down long, so lengthen your body from the top to the bottom, stretch. Now walk your feet down to the bottom right-hand corner of the mat and shimmy your shoulders to the upper right-hand corner so you can feel a stretch through the left side. So if you're on your back lying down, you'll kind of look like this, like a side bend stretch. Good, and then here, see if you can soften and breathe into the left side. Let the left hip drop down, the left shoulder. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then walk your feet down to the middle of the mat. Stretch your arms up and over. Maybe move your hips a little, shimmy your shoulders, stretch up and down. And then walk your feet to the bottom left-hand corner. Stretch your arms to the upper left-hand corner. And then see if you can press your right shoulder down and your right hip down. This is called banana asana. So you're making a shape like a ripe banana, crescent moon. Inhale. And exhale. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Breathe up and down that right side. And then walk your feet down to the middle of the mat. Stretch your arms up and over. Good. Next, bend your knees into your chest and give yourself a little squeeze. So you can rock here side to side and kind of give your low back a little massage. Release out, pull in. Good, now place your feet down, lift your hips up, move your hips to the left, drop your knees down to the right for a spinal twist. Let your arms stretch out wide. So really gentle, easy twist to begin waking up the body. This might feel really good for your spine. Okay, and then slowly make your way back to center. Lower your hips so they're directly underneath your knees. Pause, breathe in. Exhale. And then lift your hips, drop your hips to the right, and drop your knees over to the left. Open your arms to a T, then gaze to the right. So feeling stretch in your shoulders, your chest, through your spine, maybe down to your hips. Good, and then slowly make your way back to center. Unravel, so lower your hips directly underneath you, underneath your knees. Good, hug your knees in, rock a little side to side again. And now from here, rock a little up and down. Good, up and down. And then rock all the way up and over. Good. Did we lose Tyler? Tyler, where are you? Good, so come into a seated position. Nice and tall, and then just kind of rock a little side to side. There he is. Good. Hi. Good. And then maybe a little forward and back. Good. And then sitting up nice and tall, bring your shoulders up towards your ears, and then circle your shoulders around, back and down. 2 more times. Up, around, back and down. Good. Up, around, back and down. Good. Now squeeze your shoulders straight up. Inhale. Drop your shoulders down. 2 more. Inhale, shoulders squeeze. Exhale, drop. 1 more time. Inhale, shoulders squeeze. Drop. And then shake your shoulders a little shimmy at the bottom. Good. Reach your arms out and down by your sides. And then inhale, arms stretch out and up. Good. And then exhale, float your arms out and down. Very nice. Again, inhale, arms stretch out and up. And then lower your arms down. So connecting the breath and the movement. Inhale, arms stretch out and up. And now this time, take a little twist to the right. So bring your left hand to the right knee, right hand behind your back. And again, inhale, lift tall, and exhale, twist. Breathe in, get taller. Breathe out, twist. And then turn to face forward. Lower your right hand down. Stretch your left arm up and over. Feel a nice little stretch through your side there. And maybe roll that top wrist around. Good. Waking up the side body, just like we did on our backs. Good. And then lift back up to sit nice and tall. Uncross your legs. Place your feet down with your knees bent. Sway your knees from side to side, a little back and forth like this. Little swish and swish. Good, and then cross your legs again. Notice if you had one leg in front of the other. I mean, you definitely did. See if you can switch into the other leg in front. So I always cross my left leg in front first. And I'll bring my right leg, and if you try both, one might feel definitely kind of different. Good, stretch your arms out and down again by your sides, and then inhale, let your arms reach up. Good, and then exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, get nice and tall. And exhale, twist, gaze behind you. Again, breathe in. Breathe out. Turn to face forward. Lower your left hand now. Stretch your right arm up and over. Side bend. Good, and maybe roll that top wrist around. You can kind of look down, look up, really feel that stretch through your side. Good, and then rise back up. Good, place your hands on your knees and then round your spine back, let your chin drop into your chest. Good, now shift forward and arch your spine, draw your shoulders down your back. Good, round your spine, arch as you kind of shift back. Good, and then pull your chest forward. come forward. One more time, shift back, really round your spine. Shift forward, arch your back, slide your shoulders down. Good, come to center, and now swing your legs around behind you to make your way to a tabletop position on all fours. So I don't know if you guys have yoga mats. Maybe some of you do, some of you don't. So that yoga mat, it's nice to have a sticky mat, especially for like grips with your hands. And if you don't, just, do the best you can. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Gently begin to rock your hips side to side here as we begin in tabletop. And these movements, once again, can really help with posture, with flexibility, with strength, with whatever maybe athletics you might be doing. So yoga really can be super beneficial in a lot of ways. So on all fours, tuck your toes and arch your spine. So kind of what we were doing in seated. Let your shoulders draw down your back. Lift your hips, lift your chest, gaze forward. This is called cow pose. Good, now point your toes and round your spine. Press the floor away. Let your chin drop in for cat. Good, 2 more like that. Inhale, cow. So shrug your shoulders up and then draw your shoulders down. Shift a little forward, lift your hips to the sky. Curl, toes curl under. Nice, and then point your toes and round your spine, chin to chest. Good, last one, inhale, cow, shrug your shoulders down your back, shift forward, lift your hips. Good, point your toes, round your spine, cat, chin in. Good, come to a neutral tabletop position. Now bring your knees wide towards the edges of the mat, big toes touch, hips to the heels, stretch your arms forward. Let your forehead touch the mat, child's pose. Now, if that doesn't feel comfortable, you could always place something underneath your head, like a pillow or a block, or stay a little bit lifted with your hips higher and your arms stretching forward. So child's pose is meant to be a restful pose, kind of a pose you can come to pause and take a break. Breathe here. And then see if you can breathe into the back body, ribs expanding. Really good. Deep breath in, big exhale. Breathing in deeply and exhaling completely. So always remember, in our yoga practice, we want to listen to our body, cultivate wellness and balance. So if at any time you need to take a break, if something doesn't work, you can come back to a table pose or child's pose and rest. So know that your body is your greatest teacher and will communicate and tell you. It's another great definition of yoga. It's this communication between our head and our body, just learning and understanding. Now start to activate your child's pose as you stretch your arms forward, lift your gaze intent onto your fingertips. Now walk your upper body over to the right, maybe chest over your thighs. Feel a stretch through your left there. And then lift your gaze, come onto fingertips, walk your way to center, and then off to the left. Feel a stretch through your right side, maybe the right ear rests down. And then lift your gaze up on fingertips, back to center, child's pose. Good, rise up to all fours, tabletop. Shake your hips from side to side. Good, now from here, stretch your right leg back behind you with your toes tucked. I'm just gonna shift a little forward and back, maybe feel a stretch through the right calf. And then switch, left leg stretches back, tuck your toes and kind of stretch the back of that left leg. Forward and back. Good, come to center table. Stretch your right leg up and back now to balance. Really lengthen through the back leg. Good, and then notice if your right hip kind of pops open. See if you can keep your hips squared. Pull the front body to the back. Long neck, really lengthen here, creating space. Good, and then lower your right knee down. Move your hips from side to side. Deep breaths. Good, now stretch your left leg back behind you. Flex your foot like you're gonna stomp your footprint on the wall behind you. Notice if you're kind of opening, see if you can close that hip, pull the front body to the back, breathe. So don't let your chest kind of drop, really lift up. And then lower down, shake your hips. Good, so adding on from there, stretch your right leg back. Now see if you can balance and reach your left arm forward. So opposite arm and leg. And if that feels extra challenging, you can put your left hand down. Good, reach and lengthen. Now if you can add on, see if you can round and curl your knee to elbow. And then reach forward and back. So round and curl everything to center. Reach forward and back one more time, squeeze in. Lengthen, lower down, table pose. Rock your hips back and forth. Good, another side. Stretch your left leg back, right arm forward. Really lengthen. So opposite arm and leg, kind of develop that body awareness. If it's too much with the arm, keep the arm down and just bring your knee to your chest. Send it back. Otherwise, add the arm. Elbow and knee, draw center. Reach it. Pull in. Extend one more time. Draw to center. Reach out. Good. All fours, table pose. Rock your hips back and forth. Good. Now bring the backs of the hands down on the mat. Palms up, fingers face back. Good. And then squeeze your hands into a tight fist and release. Squeeze your hands in. Fingers curl towards your palm and then release. Good. Now turn your fingers back towards your knees. Maybe kind of shift back. You can bring your hips to your heels. Keep your palms lifting and then slowly start to shift your whole palm to the mat. So fingers point back. Big stretch for your forearms there. And if you're kind of a hyper extender, maybe keep a little bend of the elbows, maybe shift a little here. So this is great if you're like on the computer a lot or on your phone, using your fingers and your wrists and your hands like most of us. Good, and then turn your fingers to the side of the mat, maybe shift a little. Good, now tucking your toes, bring your hips back to your heels. Sit back in a little toe squat, and then flick your fingers like this. Go big fist, tight fist, big palm, flick, flick, flick. So waking up your fingers, you can kind of make sure your toes are tucked under. Waking up your hands, fingers, wrists, waking up, shake, 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 and then just really shake it out. Good, and back to all fours, release your toes and tap your toes out on the mat like you're having a temper tantrum, waking up your feet. Good, now spreading your fingers wide, look down at your hands, make a big palm. You want that first finger pointing forward. Good, tuck your toes. And then lift your hips up and back into downward facing dog. Good. Now, if this is too much, you can stay in table. Otherwise, start to pedal your feet out. So walking out your dog, left heel down, right knee bends. Right heel down, left knee bends. So go pedal and pedal. And you can kind of move your heels to the right, little twist, and then drop your heels to the left. Feel that big stretch in the backs of the legs. This is a really great stretch for the Achilles, the calves. Good, and then drop back to tabletop position on your knees. Take a break, breathe in. Exhale. Now walk your knees back, walk your hands forward, and kind of drop your hips. You're in a modified plank, so try to bring your knees and shoulders in one kind of diagonal line. Good, look forward, and then bend your elbows into your sides, chaturanga, and then press straight back up. So this is called a yogi push-up, and just sit back on your heels for a second. So I'll just come a little closer. So if someone says like do a push-up, we'll all usually go like this, arms out to the side, like that's like what we do in like fitness in a gym. In yoga and also Pilates, our push-up is narrow. So it's called chaturanga. So if you go like this, bring your arms in by your sides and your hands forward, and think like pull everything in, that's the position you want in chaturanga. You can also bring your arms a little farther out. So that's our yoga push-up. And if that doesn't feel good for your body, you can do like a regular push-up out to the side, but this is kind of the traditional way. So come back into that modified plank, look forward, elbows bend into your sides, lower down to a hover, and then press back up. Do two more, lower down, and press up. Long neck, gaze forward, lower down, press up. Good, now drop your hips and point your toes for up dog or cobra pose. Rock your hips, maybe gaze left, gaze right. And you can kind of lower your belly a little further down. Let yourself lie flat on the belly. Good, inhale, rise up, lift your chest. Good, cobra, up dog. Nice big stretch for your front, chest opener. Good, lower down, forehead to the mat. And then one more time, inhale, rise up. Good, now tuck your toes and press into plank position. Strong, straight line. And if this is too much, again, drop to your knees and table. See if you can shift a little side to side, lift one hand and the other in your plank. Maybe shift a little forward and back. Super strong. Good, now lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Good, walk your feet up to meet your hands. Come to the top of the mat in a forward fold, Uttanasana. So bend your knees, let your upper body sway and hang, maybe shake out your head. Good, now heel toe your feet open towards the edges of the mat. Bend your knees and squat down into Malasana, little yogi squat. So you go heels in, toes out. Maybe the elbows press your knees open. See if you can drop your heels towards the floor. Good, now stretch your arms forward, press into your feet and rise to stand. Stretch everything up. Good, and then lower your hands to your hearts. This is called mountain pose. Deep breath in, and big exhale. Breathe in deeply. Exhale completely. Now lower your arms down. And sorry if my breathing sounds really creepy. I try to breathe like deeply and loudly to encourage you to breathe deeply. So if it ever sounds creepy, I apologize, not my intention. It just kind of sounds like that sometimes though, right? So step with your feet about hip width distance. So that means feet under your knees, under your hips. And you can kind of measure that by maybe 2 fists between your feet. Good, lift up onto your toes. So see if you can lift your heels up. Good, then lower your heels down. Lift and spread your toes. So kind of shift back. We can look down at your toes. See if you can spread them apart so none of your toes are touching. Good, lower the toes. Again, lift your heels. Notice if your ankles sickle to the side so you can keep your ankles nice and strong and straight. Good, drop your heels, lift and spread your toes. Now see if you can just put your big toe down. Bring it up, just your pinky toe and lift. Now just put your big toe and pinky toe down, the toe next to the pinky, the toe next to the big toe. Really hard, right? And then all the toes, kind of wiggle your toes out. Good, now bend your knees a little, kind of come into a baby squat. Lift your heels up. Good, lower your right heel and your left heel. So you can kind of bring your arms out in front of you for balance. Pedal and pedal, so kind of waking up the front of the feet. Good, come to stand, and now we're gonna do a little march. So think about springing the front of your foot up to wake up the front of the ankle. So lift your right leg and your left leg. You can reach your arms up and over or forward, kind of lift and lift. Bring your knees up towards your elbows. Good, waking up the feet. Good, and then relax that. Bring your arms down and your feet together. Squat down again, bring your hands onto your knees and start to make some circles through your knees like this. Good, switch and circle the other way. Circle and circle, awesome. Good, come back up, step your feet wide, a little wider than your hips, and circle through your hips. Good, so you can kind of imagine you're inside a hula hoop or a little hula dance. Super corny, I know, but I know this can kind of feel weird if you're not used to it. But notice if it feels really good to kind of press your hips forward to the sides and the back. I know my hips tend to get tight in the front and the sides, so it always feels good when I circle forward. Good, now switch directions, back to the side, forward. Nice. And then come back to stand, standing nice and tall. Inhale, arms stretch up. Good, now circle your right arm back behind you, kind of look back at your hand, circle it back up, and then switch left arm stretches back. So you're kind of doing this like backstroke action. One at a time. Now bring both arms up. See if you can circle one arm forward and one arm back. If you start at the top and just kind of drop, that might help. Good, now switch directions. Left arm back, right arm forward. Good. Now reach both arms up and over. Good, take your right hand to your left wrist and hinge up and over to the right side bend. Good, come to center, left hand, right wrist, stretch up and then over to the left. Come back to center, bend your elbows to a T. Think cactus arms, like a goalpost. See if you can press your hips forward and your chest forward like a back bend. Come to center, softly bend your knees and forward fold. Hands to the mat, shake out your head, lift one heel and then the other. Good, now bring your hands onto your shins. Lengthen your spine as you look forward. Good, fold. Plant your hands and step your feet back to downward dog. Nice long dog. So nice big distance between your feet and your hands. Now in downward dog, ripple forward to plank, shoulders over your wrists, and see if you can do that without moving your hands and your feet. And then lift your hips up and back, down dog. So that's one kind of alignment cue. It might not work for your body, but maybe it does. Again, up on your toes, round forward to plank. Now either right from here or on your knees, bend your elbows, lower chaturanga, yogi push-up. Good, upward dog or cobra, find a back bend. Good, and then press back to child's pose, forehead to the mat. Breathe in, exhale. Rise up to table. Now circle your hips to the right and the left, back, left and right. Big circles through your hips, continuing to kind of wake up your joints, shoulders, hips, knees, ribs, and then switch and circle the other way. Really good. Good, center, table, tuck your toes, downward dog. Deep breath in. Exhale. Stretch your right leg up and back behind you. Now step your right foot forward and drop your back knee down. If this feels tight, you can grab some yoga blocks or anything that might be supportive, like 2 weights or soup cans or water bottles. Good, drop your front knee, bend into that front knee, maybe lift up a little, walk your hands back. Nice big stretch there, breathe. Good, now shift your hips back as you straighten that front leg. Good, shift into your front knee bend. Good, straighten your front leg, rock back. And again, shift forward and back, kind of opening space in the hip, shift forward and back. Now shift back and think about pulling the right heel towards your left knee, chest over your thigh. You can turn your toes out. Notice where that stretch moves, maybe outside the leg. Come center, point your toe inward. Good, really flex your foot, so curl your toes back, point your toes down. Good, now bend into your front knee again. Shift forward, this time tuck your back toes, lift the back knee up. Walk your hands up your front leg and rise up to crescent lunge. So really strong here in the low body. Think about hugging your muscles to bones and then reach your arms up. Lift up tall through your fingertips, but drop your shoulders down. And notice if your ribs are kind of flailing. See if you can draw your front body to the back. Good, lower your hands down and then step your right leg back to downward dog. Hold your dog, come to table for a rest, or shift into plank pose, lower yogi push-up, chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra, nice big back bend. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Exhale. Lift your left leg up and back, nice and high. Good, step it forward between your hands and drop your back knee. If you have any supportive props you can grab, feel free to place your hands under those. Nice deep bend of your front knee, maybe walk your hands back. Feel that stretch, notice what part of your body is really feeling it. The part where you feel it the most intensely might be the tightest part or the weakest part of your body in the pose. Good, now shift your hips back. You can take your props with you. Good, bend into your front knee and shift forward. Shift back and shift forward. Again, shift back shift forward. Just creating space here in the body. Shift back, think left heel towards your right knee, chest over your thigh. Fold, you can kind of drop your toes down to the left. Notice that stretch maybe in the outside of the leg. I always feel that really intensely. I don't know about you guys. Come center, point your toes in. And you feel stretch again on the outside. Come to center, curl your toes back toward your face. Really flex, and then point your toes down. Maybe feel a stretch in the front of the foot. Good, shift forward again. Bend into your front knee, hands down. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee up. And then walk your hands on top of that front thigh. Crescent. Good, now see if you can really bring your shoulders back over your hips. Stretch your arms up towards the ceiling. Reach up high, drop your shoulders down. And again, can you pull your front body, your back, maybe draw your ribs in and down. Hold here, super strong. Good, lower the hands down and step your leg back, downward dog. Again, hold your dog, rest in table, or shift forward to plank, lower chaturanga. Upward dog or cobra, downward face. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Getting a little heat maybe, warming up. Walk your feet to the top of the mat and fold in. Maybe grab behind your calves, pull your chest over your thighs. Let your head still towards the floor. And then round your spine as you rise up. Circle your shoulders up, around, back and down. Up, around, back and down. Now give everything a nice shake. Shake out your hands, your wrists, your arms. Shake out your shoulders and shake out your low body. You can kind of shake out one leg, like you're flicking water off your leg. Maybe get it kind of jiggly. And then shake everything out. Shake your torso like the floor was vibrating. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Kind of jump around, run in place, really energize, wake up, shake, shake, shake it, shake it, shake it. Just moving energy. Little exhales after your lips, shake it, shake it, shake it. It might feel weird, just go with it. Shake, shake, shake. Good, now still you're shaking. And find mountain pose in stillness. Close your eyes, lift tall through the crown of the head. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. And just notice maybe that energy you created, sensation in your body. So mindful attention. Really nice. Feet come together. Inhale, arms stretch up. And then place your hands together, lower your hands at your heart. Deep breath in. Exhale. So facing the top of the mat, lower your left foot down and see if you can bring your right foot up into tree pose. Sole of the foot inside that leg, the thigh, maybe the calf or the ankle. Good, so make sure you're not right on the knee, above or below the knee, hands at your heart. Good, now see if you can grow your tree, reach your arms up, maybe out, maybe palms up. And then reach your arms up, bring your right leg forward, see if you can stretch it forward. Good, now from here, send your leg back, point your toes behind you. Bring your hands again to your heart. Good, now from here, a little bend of the left knee. See if you can just lift that right leg up and down a little and kind of engage and pull the glute and the hamstring, a little pulse and pulse. A little strengthening here. 3, 2, 1. Now let that leg lift you up as your chest comes down, airplane pose. See if you can make the shape like a capital letter T, chest down, leg up. Good, now step your right leg to the back of the mat. Nice, how is that balancing? It can be tricky, especially if you're on like a softer like carpet, but you'll get better, I promise. So warrior one, the back toes turn in, front toes forward. Think about hips drawing forward, ribs drawing forward. Breathe. Good, now inhale, sweep your arms up, drop your shoulders down. Good, this is called warrior one. Hold here. So you can sit a little bit lower, breath in, breath out. Now straighten your legs and open to the side of the mat. Stretch your arms out. You want to think right toes forward, left Right toes face the side, left toes face forward. Stretch your arms out. Good triangle pose, lift up and then come down. So the left arm down, right arm up. And then really think about sending your chest back, your head back. Reach up tall through that top arm. Length through your side, breathe here. Good, and then slowly reach back up, reverse your triangle. So right hand comes down, left arm goes up and over. Good, rise back up. Bend into your front knee for warrior two. And I actually like to kind of bend both the legs, kind of circle around almost like you're surfing. Drop your front knee, arms stretch out. So think, a lot of people tend to kind of shift forward. See if you can bring your shoulders right over your hips, arms stretch wide, breathe here. Good, now straighten arms and legs. And then exhale, bend and lower. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower. Good, now reverse your warrior. Keep that front knee bending. Reach your right arm down the back leg, left arm up and over. Good, rise up and shift forward. Left forearm to thigh, right arm up or over. Maybe top shoulder pulls back. This is called extended side angle. Good, rise back up. Now lift your back heel. You can walk it in a little. Lift up for crescent lunge. Good, now see from here you can spring to the top of the mat. Pull your right knee to your chest. Maybe roll out that ankle. Good, a little challenge for you this morning. Nice work, you guys. Way to stay with it. Good, now lower your right foot down and just let that leg kind of swing. Let your arms swing like you were kind of warming up for a run. Swing, swing, swing. Good. And then lower your right foot next to your left. Let your arms come down. And just maybe notice the difference between your right and left sides. Breath in. Exhale. I'm going to turn my fan on because it's getting a little hot in here. Is anyone else getting kind of warm? If you want to grab a sip of water, feel free to grab some water, hydrate. Super important. All right, now we'll do the next side. So finding mountain. And just kind of notice how you stand. If you kind of lock your knees, if your knees are tense, see if you can kind of bend your knees and soften through your quads. A lot of us tend to kind of grip and tense the front body, and we really want to be a little more in the back body engaging. So most people kind of stand like this, you know, like chin out, shoulders forward, maybe hunched. So you want to think about drawing your shoulders back, your hips back, kind of weight into your heels, maybe the knees bend a little. Breathe in. Exhale. Good, now shift your weight to the right foot and bring your left leg into tree pose. So that foot can go into your thigh, your calf, and if balance is tricky, just lift your heel, maybe rest your toes on the mat. Good, awesome. Yeah, and it's normal to kind of shift and move. That's good. Embrace the shake. Good, hands at your heart. See if you could reach your arms up, grow your tree. If that feels like too much, just keep your hands at your heart. And as much as you press your foot into your leg, press your leg into your foot. Maybe the arms stretch high, you can circle for your wrists. Move your arms, sway, breathe. Awesome. Now turn your left knee forward so you can stretch that leg straight. Good, now send that left leg back behind you. Also, if balance is tricky, if you have like a shelf or a wall nearby, you can always hold on to it for support. Point your left toes back behind you, take a soft bend of your right knee, and then lift your left leg up a little bit. So kind of you can bring your hand onto your glute, onto your hamstring, a little lift and lift. And here I'm just gonna pause. For anyone who's watching the recording of this class, email me the name of my dog. Her name is Lulu. So you guys all here good. Everyone else, you're required to, anyway. I'll know you watched this if you email me, Professor Morrow, Ruth, your dog's name is Lulu. That's your like attendance quiz. Okay, so email me Lulu and I know you'll get credit for class, but also take the rest of it. And you guys all get superstars today. Good, so left leg kind of pulses here. Notice if one side feels a little different. So pull up through your glute and your hamstring. Good, now let that leg lift you and send you forward into warrior three or airplane pose. You can bring your hands on the floor to balance or maybe by your sides. Lengthen forward and back, hold. Good. Now put your left foot down at the back of the mat. Then deeply into your front knee for warrior one. So left toes are kind of at an angle, like a 45-degree. Right knee is bent. You can kind of circle and move. Good. Stretch your arms up. Drop your shoulders down. Good. Soften. Breathe in. Exhale. One more breath. Maybe come a little bit lower. Good, now straighten your legs and open to the side of your mat. You can shorten your stance a little bit here, bring your feet closer in. Left toes face the side, right toes face forward, arms stretch out. Triangle pose, lift up. Good, and then extend forward and down. Right hand onto your shin, your knee or your ankle. Draw your chest back. Maybe tuck your bottom hip under a little bit. That bottom hand, yeah, on your ankle, your knee, your shin. Good. Pull your front body to back. Breathe. Good. And then rise up. Reverse your triangle. Left hand down, right arm up. Maybe over. Good. Lift back up. Now bend into your front knee. Sit low for warrior two. Adjust your pants if you need. Good. And you can kind of circle your hips a little. Drop your shoulders down. And then find best alignment here. So front knee shifts forward, arms stretch out, shoulders drop down, gaze forward. Reverse warrior, left hand down, right arm up and over. Good, rise back up. Shift forward, extended side angle. Right forearm to thigh, left arm up, maybe over. Feel that long line of energy stretch there. Breathe. Beautiful, rise to your warrior two. Good, now lift your back heel, facing forward, stretch up, and then come all the way up, hug your left knee into your chest, roll out your ankle a little bit there. Nice work. Good, and then lower both feet down, softly bend your knees, and just sway and twist your torso, let your arms kind of sway, and maybe your arms kind of hit your back. So that's from Qigong, that's like a kidney stimulation. Right back here where your kidneys are. It's a great kind of give yourself a little kidney massage if you're feeling low energy, tired, dull. Twist and twist. Nice work. Good, and then find mountain pose, feet together, arms down, lift tall. Deep breath, notice how you feel. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step your feet about hip width distance apart. Good, now bend your knees and squat down with your arms kind of bend and then stand up. So squat down and stand up. So really send your seat back and see if you can kind of bring your weight back into your heels and really feel your hips, your glutes, your back body strengthen here. Now squat down, shift your weight to the left foot, see if you can bring your right leg up a little bit, kind of like this. So almost like a dog fire hydrant action. Good, lower your right foot down, squat down, stand up. You can make your movement little or big. Good, now squat down, hold, see if you can lift your left leg up. And out to the side, balance, bend on that right knee. Good, left foot down, squat down, stand up. Squat down, stand up, squat down, hold it here. Shift your weight to the left foot, lift your right leg up. See if you can get your knee and hip in line, hands at your heart or out in front of you, and see if you can draw your right knee to your left and open. Knee in and lift. I know it's hard, knee in and lift. Good, right foot down, squat down, stand up, let your arms sway. Really good. Good, now hold it low again, squat down, shift to the right, lift your left leg up. Maybe knee and hip is in line, lift tall through your spine. Good, now see if you can bring your left knee in and open. Find your balance. In, up, go close, open. Good, left foot down, squat, stand. Nice work. Good, stand up. Good, and then with your feet hip width apart, just kind of circle your hips again. Circle the other way. Nice. Now standing with your feet hip width, little bend of your knees, place your hands on your hips. Shift your weight to the left and see if you can kind of point your right toes to the side. Now lift your leg and lower it. Lift and lower, and see if you can kind of feel that work coming from the outer hip. Soft bend of the left knee. Lift, lower. How's that? Ooh, hard, right? Good. Feet together. Bend your knees, squat down, stand up. So a lot of this is actually Pilates inspired. Comes to stand, and by really engaging the big muscles, right, we want to be engaging, it can help our body work better overall together. So legs into the waist, waist into the back, so the hip strength helps us have back strength. And I think the number one reason people come to yoga, people have surgery and get on medication in our country is because of back pain, whether that's from a car accident or athletic injury or whatever it is, bad posture. So when we strengthen our hips, it helps our hips to work better. You know, like the pelvis might be pulling the hips to make something not work, not fire well. A lot of women's back pain comes from the front and the hip flexors. And this is like gross generalization, a lot of men's back pain comes from weak hamstrings. So just like little strengthening exercises like this can have a really big impact. So stand in mountain, little bend of your knees, bring your hands to your hips, shift your weight to the right foot and see if you can lift that left leg, point your toes to the side and go a little lift. And maybe your lift is like super tiny like this. So this is a lot of like side work. But this strength will really help with a lot of activity, athletic endeavors, etc. Good, lift and lift. Good, lower down. One more round, just bend your knees and straighten. Squat down, stand up for 3, 2, 1. Good, stand up. Step to the very top of your mat. Good, inhale, arms stretch high. And then exhale, forward fold. Let your head drop, maybe hands touch the mat. Heel toe your feet open for a little squat, malasana. So come down to a low yogi squat. So you can get your heels down, open your knees, open your chest, maybe hands at your heart, maybe elbows press your knees open. Good. Now from here, see if you can kind of sit back, stretch your arms forward, and come onto your bottom to have a seat. Legs are together, feet are together. Bring your hands behind your thighs, round your spine back. Make your arms into a wide out chin to chest. Good, now shift forward and up, and arch your spine, draw your shoulders down. Good, round back, chin to chest, arms out wide. Good, shift forward, pull your chest through. So remember, it's kind of like a cat-cow. One more time, round back. Now from here, see if you can lift your legs and lift your arms. This is called boat pose, Navasana. Maybe hands come behind you, lift. Good, now see if you can come down low boat. Press your low back down, arms up, legs up. Good, now bend your knees into your chest. Come onto your back. Rock your hips a little side to side. Pull your knees in, release. Good, now stretch your right leg long to a hover. Hug your left knee in, curl up. Good, and then switch. Left leg long, right knee pulls in. So go switch and switch. So really pull that knee in and lengthen the opposite leg. Switch and switch, really pull and pull. For 2, core strength, then 1, good. Bend your knees in, rest your head, rock a little side to side. Good, now stretch your legs up towards the ceiling. You can have your legs really steep or start to lower your legs out in a diagonal. See if you can keep your low back pressing down. Bring your hands up to your knees, curl your upper body up. Good, now reach your arms back and bend your knees in, circle your arms towards your heels. Everything opens and then closes. 3 more. 2, 1. Good, lower down, rest your head, rock your hips. Now stretch your right leg towards the ceiling. Stretch your left leg long to a hover. You can also put your left leg down or bend your knee, put your foot down. Good, hands behind your head. Your head can be down or lifted. Point your right toes and circle your right leg a couple times in the sky. Little circles. 2, 1. Switch directions. 3, 2, 1. Now switch, right leg hovers or put it down. Left leg extends, little circles. 3, 2, 1. Switch directions. Good. Now just go switch with the legs. Legs are straight. And you can add a little twist, opposite elbow to opposite knee. Go rotate and rotate for 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Come all the way onto your back, bend your knees, rock out your hips. Well done. Place your feet down with your knees bent. Open your arms out wide. Drop your knees to the right. Maybe gaze left. And then come center, knees drop left, gaze goes right, little twist. And then come to center, hug your knees in, rock a little up and down along your spine, up and down, and then rock up and come into butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, knees wide. See if you can bring your heels in close to your body, hands behind you, lift tall for your spine, and then see if you can actively kind of press your knees open and down. Nice deep stretch for your inner thigh, your groin. Good, now wrap your hands around your feet. See if you can open your toes out or bring your hands into the arches of the feet and kind of massage your feet like you're opening up a book. And also kind of zipper your fingers between your toes. And then as you're ready, fold forward here. So we tend to kind of close the feet. See if you can keep the feet kind of open. So the feet open, the hips will open more. You can let your head drop, your shoulders kind of round. So forward folds like this can be really calming to the nervous system. And then slowly rise back up and bring your shoulders up toward your ears, circle around, back and down. Shake your shoulders at the bottom. Bend your knees, plant your feet, hands behind you. Drop your knees a little side to side. Good, then cross your ankles, roll over your knees. Come to all fours into tabletop position. Spread your fingers wide. Good, now shift your hips a little back and shift your hips a little forward. Shift back and forward. Now we're going to do a similar hip strength exercise here that we did in standing. This one should be a little bit easier. Good, so bring your knees together. Good, ground into your hands. Maybe even come onto your right fist or fingertips. Lift your right leg up to the side and lower. Those are kind of like Pilates clams. Good, go lift and lower for 3. Shift a little more to the right. 1, hold it lifted, little pulse here. Go pulse and pulse. 3, 2, 1, knee in. Send your right leg back. Knee to chest. Send it back. Now put your right toes down at the back of the mat. Send your left foot behind your left knee. Right leg is long, so you're in supported side plank. Reach up with that right arm. You can also bring your right hand onto your hip. So you can be on left palm, fingertips or fists. Flex your right foot and bring your right leg up and then lower. Lift and lower as high as you can. 1, hold it lifted, kick your leg forward, kick your leg back. Keep it high, try to keep your torso still. Keep that leg lifted, little circles. I know it's hard, circle the other way. Good, now put your foot down, nice work. Rise up, this is called gate pose. Whew. Arms extend, shoulders over your hips. You can flick your fingers a little, roll out your wrists. Good, now tilt your right hand down your right leg. Left arm stretches up and over. Good, arms reach out to a T. Now tucking your left toes, send your hips back, bring your hands forward, and then lower down onto your forearm. So this should be a really deep stretch for your inner right hamstring, your thigh. Shift a little forward and back here. Feel, breathe. Good. Now straighten your arms. Turn to the top of the mat. Lower both knees to table and rock your hips side to side. Now pause here in this neutral position and notice the difference between your right and left sides. Good. Walk your knees back, tuck your toes, send your hips towards your heels. Now spin forward into modified plank, bend your elbows, chaturanga push-up. Straighten, a little lower, and lift one more time. Come all the way to the belly, stretch your legs back, hands down, inhale, rise to cobra. Back bend, good, and then tabletop position. Breathe here, inhale, exhale. We're almost done, I promise. Bring your knees together, open, and then you can come onto your left fingertips or fist. See if you can open your left knee out to the left, nice and high and lower. So little clams, kind of opening and strengthening that outer left hip. And you might feel later today your back more free and long. 2, 1, hold it lifted, little pulses up. We'll lift, lift. 3, 2, 1, draw it in. Now send your leg back, pull it to your chest. Send your leg back, pull it in. Send your leg back and then put it down. Other side, side plank. Right hand down, right fist or fingertips. Good, left hand onto your hip where you can stretch it up or over. Good, flex your left leg and bring it up and down. And maybe you just come up this much. Just notice, don't judge yourself if you feel like you're not doing it correctly or well. It's probably the first time for a lot of you, so you're doing amazing. Good, now hold it lifted. Kick your leg forward and kick it back so you can keep your waist kind of still as you move your leg. Very nice. Straight back, lower your foot down, lower your leg, reach your torso up, stretch your arms out, gate pose. Roll out your wrists, circle your wrists. Good, circle the other way. Good, flick your fingers. Good, and now lower your left arm down, right arm up and over. Little side bend. Good, reach up, arms to a T, tuck your right toes, send yourself forward. Elbows or forearms, shift forward and back, nice deep stretch in that inner hamstring, inner quad, inner thigh, notice. Maybe you come to a still point, hold. Good, now walk your hands in, turn to the top of the mat. Good, lower your left knee next to your right, and just notice, breathe, hold here. Tuck your toes, arch your spine, cow pose. Good, point your toes and round your spine for cat. Come to a neutral position, walk your knees back, walk your hands forward, modified plank, and then last slow, bend your elbows to your sides, chaturanga. Lower to the belly. Now from here, stretch your arms back. You can go palms to face one another or interlace your fingers. Press your palms, lift your chest, lift your legs, a little strengthening for the back body here. Hold. And lower down. Slide your forearms out in front of you. Elbows or forearms come down, Sphinx pose. And pull your elbows back, pull your chest forward, breathe. Lower all the way down. Reach your arms up to a T. Let your left ear rest on the mat. You can shake out your hips. Good. Then bring your right ear down. Right arm is straight, or you can bend your elbow to a T. Bring your left hand in front of your face. And you're just gonna roll to your right side. Bring your left leg over your right, or bend your left knee and put your foot behind you. So stretch that right arm out. And here you want to think about really stretching your right shoulder, your right chest. Breathe and soften. And then slowly unravel. Come back to your belly. Cross your forearms on top of one another. Let your forehead rest. And then keeping your head down, float your legs up. Bring your feet out and click, click together. So feet may be wide as your mat, no click, click. Go out, in, continuing to strengthen the back of the body. Good, hold your legs lifted. Curl your heels towards your seat and extend back. Think hamstring curl. In, reach, again, in, reach, one more. Good, and then let that go. Shake out your hips, stretch your left arm out. The arm can be straight or you can bend your elbow. Right hand in front of your face, roll to your left side. Good, and then just really feel that stretch in your left chest and your shoulder. Breathe here. Really let the breath be full, deep. And then lower back to the belly. Good, rest your arms long by your sides. So we'll come to another back bend. So you can do what we did, just lift everything up, interlace your fingers, or reach for your heels. Bend your knees so you can grab the outsides of the feet for bow. Exhale, and then inhale, lift up. Maybe rock a little forward and back. And then let it go. Shake out your hips side to side. Nice work, everybody. Sigh out of the mouth. Bring your gaze forward, hands underneath you. Press up to table. And then press back to child's pose. Big toes touch, knees wide, hips on your heels. Stretch your arms forward, forehead down. And then settle, soften, and relax here. See if you can breathe into the back body. Breathe in. Let it go. Soften everything on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale completely. And then walk your hands in. Lift your chest, shoulders over your hips. Bring your right hand behind your back. Reach your left arm up and then see if from here you can press your hips forward, your chest forward for a one-armed camel pose. Good, drop your hips and switch. Left hand down, right arm reaches up, hips forward, chest forward, lift. Good, lower down. Sit to one side of your legs and then swing your legs around for seated. Stretch your legs out, give them a little shake, shake, wiggle, wiggle. Good, now bring your feet a little wide toward the edges of the mat. Sit tall, flex your feet back towards you. Reach your arms out to a T. Good, now twist over to the right, sitting tall. Maybe gaze back. Come center and then twist to the left. Gaze back. Come center, twist right. Now see if you can kind of saw left pinky finger towards your right pinky toe in that direction. Nice, lift up, center, and then twist left. Maybe right pinky finger towards left pinky toe. Good, come center, lift. Good, lower your hands behind your back. Bring your feet together, point your toes, lift your hips for reverse plank, or bend your knees, place your feet down, reverse table. Good, lower down. Good, hands behind you, knees are bent. Walk your right leg forward, cross your left ankle over your right knee for a stretch. You can walk your right foot in a little bit more if you're more flexible, and really flex your left foot, maybe shift yourself a little side to side here. Now hold. If you're more flexible, you might bend your right knee and put your right knee down. And I'm pretty tight in these externally rotating poses, but some of you might be open to bring like shin over shin and then fold, which might feel like a good, nice deep stretch here. So my knee is way up. Some people can be like knee way down, but my body doesn't work that way. So that's just an option if you want more, or stay with this variation and breathe. So we're probably going to end class around 9:30 and then take a break. So don't worry, you're almost there. You're doing awesome. Good, uncross your left foot and just sway knees side to side. Good. Now cross your right ankle over your left knee. Flex your foot. Maybe shift a little side to side. So switching sides. You can walk your left foot in a little bit. You could also lower your left shin down and go shin on top of shin, flexing your feet like 2 by your logs, ankles and knees aligned, or just stay a little upright. And it might feel good to sway or just hold. And it's really nice, these poses, to kind of open and stretch all that we've been strengthening today. Good. Uncross your legs, feet down, hands wide, little sway side to side with the knees. Good. Now scoot forward to the top of the mat. Stretch your arms forward and then slowly roll onto your back one vertebrae at a time. You can kind of pause and lift back up for a little more core strength. Good. Super slow. Take your time. Good. Come all the way onto your back. Hug your knees in. Rock side to side. Good. Stretch your legs up towards the ceiling. Now see if from here you can bend your knees and reach to grab the outside edges of your feet for happy baby. Good. So really bend your knees down outside your ribs. You can pull your knees down now. Rock side to side. Maybe straighten one leg and bend. Good. Stretch your legs up. Give your legs a little shake. Give your arms a shake, 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 shake it. Good. Bend your knees and just simply drop your knees to the right. Open your arms to a T and gaze left. Spinal twist. And then slowly come back to center. Knees drop in, rock side to side. Knees drop to the left. Arms out to a T, gaze right. And then come back to center, knees draw in, rock side to side. Now curl your upper body, bring your nose towards your knees, squeeze everything into a tight little ball, squeeze, hold, tense tight. And then exhale, release down onto your back for final Shavasana relaxation pose. Let your legs go long, let your arms come down and out by your sides. If you have stuff nearby, it might feel nice to bring a pillow underneath your knees. If lying flat on your back irritates your back, you can bend your knees and place your feet down. It might feel good to have a pillow under your head or blanket on top of you. So maybe the most important yoga pose, Shavasana, final rest. So this is where we really let our practice today integrate into the body and land. Breathe in, exhale. So you have nothing to do for the next couple minutes, but lie here, be still and relax. And our meditation, our yoga practice isn't about quieting the mind, stilling the mind, but more about just noticing the thoughts. Noticing, observing, and then maybe eventually getting to control, quiet, still, but also just importantly bearing witness to this experience of life, to this body, this practice, maybe your education, the ability to slow down, to pause, to notice, to feel. Breathe in, exhale, let go, relax. So that second Yoga Sutra 1.2, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the quieting of the mind, the stilling of the fluctuation of the thoughts. So this state you might be feeling right now of samadhi, of relaxation, a state of complete integration of union, where we understand our place in relation with the infinite. Foundational to our understanding is yoga. And the goal is always towards a quieter mind. Chitta, the mind stuff, consciousness, emotions, the subconscious mind, the basin of our whole mind consciousness. In yoga language, the Sanskrit Amkara is lake of consciousness, which gets turned up. The water is not clear. The vrittis, the fluctuations of the mind, get calm through yoga. So we recognize we're a part of the infinite, turn or whirl the movements of the mind. So state of yoga is when all the vrittis have calmed. And one thing is our practice helping us to see more clearly? Is our practice helping us to quiet the mind? Is our practice helping us suffer less, feel more joy and peace? Is it helping our true self to shine more brightly? So that's the goal of yoga, letting our minds get quiet and still, letting our bodies soften and relax to step out into our lives, seeing more clearly, happy, whole, complete. And from there, maybe kind of becoming, turning to that like servant's heart, able to serve others, to help. Now, just taking some time to really notice how this practice landed in your body this morning, how you feel. Breathe deeply in, exhale, and then start to make some small movements. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, roll out your ankles and your wrists, turn your head side to side. And then stretch your arms up and your feet down. Lengthen your body from the top to the bottom. And then bend your knees, give yourself a gentle squeeze, draw in. And then you can rock up to a seated position. Sitting up nice and tall, bring your hands together in front of your heart, palms touching. And this is called Namaste hands or Anjali Mudra, just a gesture of commitment and gratitude. So commitment to kind of take this practice with you into your day, and deep gratitude for this body, this practice, your education, anything you feel extra grateful for today. And we're just going to close the practice bowing in and saying Namaste. So namaste, everyone. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. So great work. We're going to take a 15-minute break. So from 9:30, we'll meet back at 9:45. I'm going to end the meeting to have like the first recording for class. And then we'll go from like 9:45 to 10:30. Maybe we'll go the whole time, do a little lecture and maybe a little more like meditation and gentle stretching. That might have been a lot for some of you. And we might kind of have a conversation as well. So go walk around, get some water, get a snack if you want, and I'll see you guys back at 9:45.